The War of the Year? Yeah, that's possible. Today we dive into the modern era, specifically into the year 1731, when the story of one of the most bizarre wars the world has ever seen began. Get ready for the War of the Year. In the spring of 1731, Captain Robert Jenkins, a British sailor, was peacefully sailing the Caribbean when suddenly, out of nowhere, a Spanish ship appeared. Jenkins had no idea that his life was about to change, quite literally, in a very personal way. The dispute quickly escalated into a physical conflict, and before you could say ear, Jenkins lost his ear. The Spanish captain coldly served it and sent it back home as a warning. But the story doesn't end with this incident. Jenkins, determined to seek compensation, carefully preserved his ear and waited for his opportunity. That moment came 7 years later, when he decided to present the story of his ear to the British Parliament. When Jenkins revealed his ear there, it was like throwing a spark into a powder keg. At that moment, it was no longer just about the ear, but about Britain's honor, its power interests in the New World, and control over trade routes. Britain, enraged by Spanish aggression, saw the war as an opportunity to weaken Spanish influence in the Caribbean and South America. The British targeted Spanish territories and forts, hoping to carve out a piece of the Spanish Empire for themselves. On the other hand, Spain, although weakened by its internal problems, was determined to defend its interests from further expanding. The war featured several significant battles, mostly taking place at sea. One of the most famous battles was the Battle of Cartagena in 1741, where the British attempted to capture an important Spanish port in Colombia. Despite overwhelming superiority and the deployment of a huge number of troops and ships, the British failed to breach the city's defenses. Cartagena became a symbol of Spanish resilience and British frustration. Meanwhile, as large armies and fleets clashed, smaller conflicts and skirmishes raged in the background of the war. British and Spanish privateers attacked each other on the open seas, plundering enemy ships and ports. The pirate warfare caused enormous damage and triggered further chaos in the already turbulent waters of the Caribbean. Despite all these clashes and efforts to achieve a decisive victory, the war ended without a clear winner. In 1748, the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle was signed, which ended the fighting but left the issues and had led to the war unresolved. Britain did gain some territorial gains, but overall, the war proved too costly for both sides. And so, the War of Jenkins' Ear entered history as an example of how small incidents can spark large conflicts. Although the war was partly motivated by prestige and revenge, it was also a broader power struggle between two empires weighing to control global trade routes and colonize new territories. This conflict reminds us that even the smallest cause in history can have enormous consequences. That's all for today. Make sure you like and subscribe. We are channel History is Cool, and see ya!